Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure and privilege for me to stand in front of you in my own country and bring the delegates from Qatar, where I have joy of making my living. Qatar has been a telling story of seeing the Bilateral. Doha Bank has been an outstanding performer, operating in 15 countries today. Geetika has been splendid in explaining how a sustainable performer Doha Bank is all about in its existence of 33 years. The vision of the board, the execution of the management has been very well founded to take this bank forward. I have the privilege of being part of the team, delivering the sustainability for the last 10 years. And I look forward to continue this mission and take this bank to the next level in its vision as well as execution. India has been a great bilateral friend and partner for the Gulf states. It's a vision of my board way back in 2005. They insisted that we should first apply for a license. Now, it has been a reality for us to see. We are going to be here in full scale and substance. Before I come to this desk, I had a press reporter asking a few questions. If I answer what I have said to them, I have done the session for the next 20 minutes. The questions were, what's happening in the global economy? I was introduced as an international economist. What's happening in the global financial markets? What's happening in India and the emerging markets? What's happening to the Gulf states, GCC economies? Then the questions was confined to Qatar. What's the purpose of Doha Bank being here? How do we promote the bilateral opportunities between India and the rest of the Gulf, in particular Qatar, where we come from? That was a telling story for me to reveal. The world is changing. The world is changing on account of globalization. The world is changing on account of re-regulation. What was once prescribed as a medicine as deregulation has become re-regulation with the advent of financial crisis. The world is also changing on account of consumerism, a market like this. The world is changing on account of technology. And India is the forefront of business process outsourcing, knowledge process outsourcing, and technology outsourcing, to say the least. Financial economies are converting as real. The real economies are redefining the scope and performance. Communism has changed. Socialistic patterns have been redefined with free market principles. Capitalism is also getting its form and substance. Consumer protection has been well founded. The man in the Main Street, in addition to Wall Street, has been the forefront of everyone. Gross welfare to the mosque has been the focus of Arab Spring. And again, globally, politics and economics need to converge to provide values to all the stakeholders. This is the world we are in. This is the complexity we are facing. Every time when people ask, the financial crisis is over or not, I say, it's not. What has changed in the last 5 years? The liquidity crisis has moved to a funding crisis. Funding crisis has become a sovereign crisis. Sovereign crisis has become a solvency crisis. Printing money, improving the liquidity, inflated the world market, financial markets. The sheer liquidity has inflated. Money supply was swinging to emerging markets and vice versa. But the real economies needs to have real value advantage in substance. Looking at the latest victim of IMF, The global growth, still we are confined to 3.7% this year, and it might go to 3.9% for 2015. Advanced economies are grossly underperforming, 2.2% in block this year, perhaps 2.3% next year. Within the breakup of advanced economy, America is the largest economy in the world. 20% of the world import, 12% of the world exports today is still really under pressure. Quantitative easing has really ignited the stock markets. Bond buying programs, long-term mortgages, as well as liquidity in terms of treasury buyouts is helping them. Now, QE tapering is on. We have seen the deceleration when Federal Reserve was announced they're going to cut down the bond buying programs. We have seen the deflation, volatility in the emerging markets, including India, last August. Now, still, it is very premature for us to see where America is in full recovery. Unemployment is really in shape, 6.7%. Inflation still has to reignite so that really interest rates will be hiked. Housing market is a slow recovery, and real development expenditure is contentious between the politicians. The real growth is said to be between 2.7% to 3%. That's what the IMF says. Euro, in my definition, is a disaster, while the monetary policy is centralized. Fiscal policy is decentralized. So you have a major fiscal consolidation in the way European Central Bank is doing its best. Unemployment is 11.6%. Huge. And again, you say enlarge Euro. It's not confined to Greece or Portugal or Italy. Those who have lived beyond their means, gross debt to GDP, beyond the Maastricht criteria, still needs to be fixed. The Euro growth is between 1 to 1.2%, way below the standards. China, within the definition of the European economy, emerging markets, China is slowing down. We have seen in block they're going to do between 5.4 to 5.7%. China, which was posting consecutive 30 years over 9%, now oscillating between 7.5 to 7.7%. And next year, possibly, they will go down to 7.3%. And we have seen the reflection how the credit quality has been diminishing in China. We have an office in China in Shanghai. India, as a functioning democracy, has been realigning in terms of fiscal consolidation, narrowing the current account deficit. Inflation is an issue. The last quarter was 8.1%. And again, the monetary tools alone cannot fix the issue. You need alignment between fiscal policy and monetary tools. And politics and economics have to converge. And again, political stability is the key when we look at the election for this month. Brazil is still running through problems, 2% to 2.2%. Russia is setting the tone for the Cold War. It is, again, you have seen the currency depreciation in the last 1 month. Stock market deflation, you have seen on account of the adjoining Crimea as being an integral part of the sovereign integrity. So the world is not out of the woods. The Cold War is beginning to evaporate. Only if we have total political alliance. Global governance has to play its role. Unless we have universal standard in terms of accounting, valuation, securitizations, which was set as a global mission, we cannot attain the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. Food security is an issue world over. Eradication of extreme poverty is an issue. Gender equality is an issue. And again, we have maternal health is an issue. Child mortality is an issue. The world at large is going through extraordinary turbulence in the coming phase. We are all here in this planet to see we bring in sustainable future for our children and grandchildren. This is my first answer to the first question. Japan, I missed it, is again open market operations. It is printing money, inflating it. They are likely to see trillions of yens are put into place in the open market. perhaps they can increase the inflation between 1.5 to 1.7%. But the real growth, their gross debt to GDP is over 200%. That's the world we are in. What's happening to the Gulf economies? Gulf economies is a multi-trillion dollar block. 1.662 trillion is the gross domestic product. As a current account, surplus as a percentage of GDP is 26%. They generate over 369 billion as the current account surplus. Look at the financial stability. 48% of the world oil, 25% of the world gas comes from this place. The 6 states put together, in Oman, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, where we come from, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, the Gulf states, generating 45% of the world oil, 25% of the world gas, the enormous amount of financial stability. If you extrapolate for any number of years, alternatives are being looked at, solar, wind, biofarm, biofuels, but still, fossil fuels is costing reasonably well. The governments have been focusing on a conservative measure, $65 per barrel. You know the real price, WTI today, is quoting another 5, New Mexico is quoting $90 million. You can calculate the budget surplus each and every economy can generate. That's the financial stability. If you split the GDP, single largest economy is Saudi Arabia with $747 billion. Then comes United Arab Emirates with $404 billion. Qatar comes third, $210 billion. A small country with less than 2 million populations, nearing 2 million populations, generating $210 billion GDP. As a percentage of GDP, again, current account surplus is 29%, generating 54 billion, 53.8 billion is the current account surplus. Then comes Oman, 89 billion, and again, Bahrain, 29 billion. Sum it up, we'll have 1662. That's the enormous amount of wealth we are talking about. India, proximity and human capital investments, people like me as professionals, we have a subsistence. But the bigger picture is, these economies have very strong economic fundamentals. They have a long-term vision. Qatar 2030 as a designated vision. Saudi Arabia 2020, Abu Dhabi 2030, Oman 2020. The vision has been long-term. How to diversify as a structured solution from oil and gas to non-oil and gas. That's precisely your opportunity. That's precisely the reason why we as Doha Bank can play a role as intermediary, as bankers. Economic fundamentals are very, very important. And again, these are emerging markets today. Qatar and UAE today is an emerging market. Those who are interested in stock markets, we can clearly see these are good investment. Whereas you will get price to earning is less than 10 times, price to book value is less than 2 times. You will analyze return if you invest in a bank or, and again, insurance or petrochemicals, your annualized return is over 15 to 18%. That's the level of opportunity we're talking about. What are the weaknesses of these economies? They have to diversify. Clear. We do have geopolitical makers which are functional. That's there, this flashpoint, all along. Where you have 45% of the world oil, 20-25% of the world gas, you will always have issues. That's the weakness. We look at opportunity. Opportunities are the real growth in block, the 6 states put together is between 4 to 4.5. Countries like Qatar over 6%. But what's important is non-hydrocarbon, non-oil and gas is going to have not less than 10% growth. Every single country, if you look at it, they have a huge government expenditure. Government expenditure drives the overall productivity of the economy. If you look at the sectors, airport, seaport, road, rail, telecoms, infrastructure creations. Me and my chairman and my manager landed there for yesterday. They were very appreciative of the airport, the new airport where we landed. I was landed in the new airport. First time, February 6th, I came in. It was extraordinary service. The airport capacity expansion, if you look at the Gulf states, it's huge. Qatar is planning for 50 million passengers. Dubai, the new airport, is going to plan for 80 million passengers. Oman is planning for 25 million passengers. Bahrain is 12 million passengers. Kuwait is planning for 50 million passengers. Saudi Arabia is talking about 75 million. That's the kind of infrastructure creation. Here are the companies. In India, who have done remarkable jobs, whether Delhi or Bombay or New Bombay, which is in the making. Here's an opportunity. So the sectoral opportunity in terms of urban development is your point to pick. And again, emerging market status for investors is an opportunity. Diversification as a structured solutions, we are all going to embark on healthcare and education. Healthcare is an opportunity for Indian companies. That's where we come. If you look at the bigger picture, as on date, if you look at the bilateral trade between India and the Gulf states is 170 billion. Let me give the breakdown. Topping the list is United Arab Emirates, $75.4 billion, 36 billion export, 39 is import. And again, the second one is Saudi Arabia, $43 billion. Kuwait, $17.6 billion. And again, Qatar is $16.4 billion. The largest LNG import of India is come from Qatar. Petroleum was well founded way back in 2004. Yesterday, I met the infrastructure company who were interested in still importing LNG. We are here as an institution. Then comes the bilateral trade when it comes to Oman, 24 billion. So the opportunity, if you look at it, Oman, Bahrain, all put together, summing it up, it's over 170. That's where you're going to have a huge scale of operations with bilateral trade moving up in the right direction. India is importing in every sector, if you look at it, it's oil, natural gas, and again, petrochemicals, urea, ammonia, polypropylene, name it. India is a major consumer of fertilizers, which comes from QAFCO, a company from Qatar. Largest fertilizer company in the world. Extraordinary relationship. When I look at the bigger picture and the government expenditure, recently all the governments in the Gulf states have announced their budget, including Qatar, that was a couple of days before. If you look at a split, it's a telling story again. How much we can leverage US businessmen. Whereas you will find that all these countries have got financial stability. All these countries have got huge government expenditure. Which part of the world you will have secured payments? I'll tell you, this year alone, this year fiscal split, if you look at it, $409 billion. 72 billion is going to be from Qatar. Dollars. 72.6 billion is from Oman. 85 billion is coming from United Arab Emirates. 143 billion comes from Saudi Arabia. Bahrain is around 24 billion. If you sum it up, you get the total what I said. Extraordinary government expenditure on healthcare, education. Huge amount of education infrastructure the countries require to. You have huge amount of literacy in many states. States like Kerala, 100% literacy. Enormous amount of education support you can give for the Gulf states. You have an opportunity. We are here to facilitate in substance. These are not ordinary opportunities. If you look at each and every way forward, Qatar or the Gulf states is now embarking on free trade agreement. Already you have a double taxation treaty with the Gulf states. Free trade agreement is being contemplated between the Gulf states and India. India is going through Saudi Arabia and they're coming to alignment. And that's going to increase the overall trade. If you have free trade between the two blocks, which has got enormous amount of business opportunity. That's going to increase not less than 35 to 40%. These are economic forecasts. And again, individuals are exempted from income tax. And double taxation treaty, as I said, is already provided. Doing business is easy. Doing business in the Gulf states is easy. You have huge amount of free zones. In UAE, where we talked about bilateral relationship over $70 billion, every single state, Emirates, part of the Emirates, have got free zones. If you look at Sharjah alone, there are 4 free zones. Every other country now contemplating an option to set up free zones. They know Indian businessmen come there. In UAE alone, over 10,000 Indian companies are mushrooming in the free zones. The opportunity for us is endless if I start enumerating in substance. An investment protection agreement, those who invest in those markets, Indians have invested $52 billion in UAE. It's not one-way traffic, it's two-way traffic. And Indians have invested in UAE market over $52 billion. That's the level of partnership we are talking about. And Qatar itself, if you look at it, as I said, in terms of exports, we have oil, gas, and petrochemicals. In terms of imports, we have mineral oils, we have cotton, we have, again, technology plays a big role, and precisely you have growing opportunity in every single state in the Gulf. That is why we are here today, to showcase you the growing opportunities between the Gulf states and India. Within the definition of Gulf states, within the definition of Qatar, we are the first institution who have been licensed to operate in India. I'm proud of being part of the fraternity, thanks to my fellow mates and my board who have recognized me as a professional to lead this opportunity to make sure I converge on their vision and making sure we have a great bilateral relationship between these two countries, these two blocks. And as a professional community, and our character has been well exhibited by Geetika. Given the 10 years of the last, we have seen with the boom and downturn, the institution has outperformed. The boom and downturn, the graph was only ascending. Some of the outstanding numbers in the industry have produced the highest return on average equity, highest return on average assets. The asset allocation model as well. From a local, the bank has moved to regional and trying to be truly global. Build professional outfit to ensure it really is double-A-rated country and A-rated for the institutions. Continuously, it's not 1 year or 2 years. Sustainable credibility is what the trade is all about. We have set our footprints wherever Qatar and the Gulf states have got economic linkage. And that's precisely the reasons why it's good for us to meet you all and showcase what these states means to you and how exactly we can work together. There are bilateral growing opportunities. We are going to showcase the opportunities. Me and my team are committed. We welcome you to Qatar. We welcome you to the Gulf states. As we said, we have full-fledged operations in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Kuwait, in addition to Qatar. We want you to explore this market, business community. We want to bring in enhanced trade within the Indian definition. We want to make sure we bring in investments. As I said, the purpose of me being here is to promote the bilateral trade as well as investments. For the reasons which I mentioned, these countries are running in huge fiscal and current account surplus. The current account surplus, over and above the budgets, are channelized as investments. Qatari investments are there, outlaid as $1.2 billion in Bharti assets. We want to make sure we promote. We want to promote the small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. I have the president of the Indian SME Chamber here, this is Chandrakant Saloni. We forged this alliance 2 years before. We are the preferred relationship partners for the overall SME business. We want to promote the bilateral opportunity for the SMEs as well. We welcome you all for this opportunity again. And again, banking is incidental. As on date, our exposure to Indian operations, in terms of credit lines, we have over $2 billion. We are extending. Committed credit lines, committed corporates who are doing business in the Gulf states, whether it's L&T or Voltas or Shapoorji's, we're there. Before even getting a license, you can see what amount of opportunity is growing. The annual remittance, if you see in global terms, 45 billion or $50 billion, 23.4 billion was last year alone remitted by the Gulf states. Those are Indians, not necessarily persons of Indian origin. Those are transmitting money here, and we have a well-founded systems to remit the money. And again, when it comes to finance, we have growing opportunities to showcase. Come and see Doha Bank everywhere, and you will have an opportunity to look at the projects. I can go on endlessly in terms of project space. The projects, the next 5 years, if you look at it, is over $1 trillion. This year alone, I mentioned $409 billion as pronounced by the fiscal frameworks. We are going to showcase. We're going to give the breakup for you. We're going to disseminate the knowledge for you, disseminate the information for you. We will work as friend partners. We will work as investment advisor. We will work as project advisory to forge a partnership to grow together. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your kind attention.